Meeting.
So thanks to everybody for joining us. So in preparation for the start of early voting on February 10th, UTC's Mocs Go Vote Committee has asked City Council candidates to speak with members of the Mayor's Youth Council and college students here in Chattanooga, answer their questions and talk about the future. So joining us now is candidate for District 7, Ms. Raquetta Dotley. So Ms. Dotley, I will turn it over to you. Introduce yourself.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Raquetta Dotley, and I am a candidate for City Council District 7. I'm community conscious, accountable, and dependable. I was born and raised here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I actually attended UT Chattanooga, class of 2004. And I got my master's at Temple Baptist Seminary in Ministry and Christian Education. So it was a bit of a switch there. I currently serve as the executive director of the Net Resource Foundation, which is a community-based nonprofit in Alton Park or in South Chattanooga, and also as the administrator for the Westside Baptist Church. My civic engagement includes working with the Hamilton County Voters Coalition. I've served as the co-chair for them for, I served for the, not this year, but I think 2018-19 as the co-chair, and we did voter education, participation, and registration. Also, I'm a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and I love working in the communities. I work with my Alton Park Neighborhood Association. I just bought my first home in East Lake, so now I'm a part of the East Lake Neighborhood Association. So I love community. I love working with people, and I love to see things getting done. So my platform is neighborhood equity, economic development, and infrastructure and transportation. Neighborhood equity is all about getting the resources to the communities equitably. So whether it's East Lake or St. Elmo or downtown, we want to make sure that every community in District 7 has the resources that they need to thrive. We also economic development, focusing on small businesses, making sure that they also have the resources and incentives to make sure that their businesses stay afloat in Chattanooga. Chattanooga is a great startup city, so we want to continue to keep that reputation. And finally, infrastructure and transportation, dealing with a lot of the paving, stormwater issues that we're seeing across the district. So I'm excited to run for City Council District 7. Again, Raquetta Dotley. I'm community conscious, accountable, and dependable. And together we'll build stronger communities.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Emily.
Perfect. First off, thank you for being here. My first question, it kind of touches on one of your points. How do you feel about the transportation options in your district? And do you have any plans on how you'd like to see them expanded?
Transportation expansion, yes. Well, I live in East Lake. We do have Carter. Of course, Carter is our city's main transportation system. And so transportation is limited here. As someone who didn't have a car for quite some time, it's difficult to get around without regular bus services. So definitely want to expand that. I know Carter is currently working on their redesign program. In its past budget, they were mentioning that half their fleet, is outdated. So I'm definitely looking to work with Carter to get the resources that they need to increase access to transportation for everyone. Because like I said, in East Lake, I think we start running at maybe 6 or 8 o'clock or something like that. And once that's done, people don't have any, they have to either walk or catch a Uber, and sometimes that's not affordable. So definitely want more access in areas. And I believe in St. Elmo, they don't even have a bus route through there. So definitely want more access for transportation. And so that's working with the Carter redesign to get that done. And I believe there's a regional transportation network as well. So just working in that area to make sure that everyone has access to transportation to get to where they need to go, whether it's work, play, whether it's work or play.
All right, so what does the future of District 7 look like to you, and how can you make that future happen by getting elected to the council?
Okay, future of District 7, it looks bright, especially if I'm elected. District 7, I see District 7 is a great district, first of all. It has everybody in it. Like in East Lake, we have a very strong, a growing Hispanic population. You have a strong African-American population in Alton Park. So you have a very diverse district. going around. So I see us working together collectively to get things done, but also addressing the unique needs of each community. One of my platform points is neighborhood equity. And in that, I plan on establishing a District 7 council, and that would include 2 to 3 members of each neighborhood coming together, and we'll decide how we want to come together, whether it's monthly or quarterly, and address issues that are of concern to each neighborhood. The point of that is that each group can get together and say, hey, I thought this neighborhood had this or this community had that, but really we all have things that we want to address. So dealing with those issues separate, collectively, but then also finding something that we can all drive together. For instance, paving, infrastructure, something that we can work together towards. So at the end of my 4 years, I want to be able to look back and see that I've brought the district closer. We have stronger neighborhood leadership, and that we're moving forward progressively.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously the local school system is under Hamilton County. So when it comes to supporting students and the youth community, where do you think the city comes in?
I love youth and students. I'm the youth pastor at my church, Westside Church. So I love kids, I always have. So I believe that the city can do more in supporting students with supplemental services and supplemental education services. Whether that be partnerships with nonprofits, partnerships with local businesses, whether it be career prep, sports, or whatever that may be. But we need to make sure that we're invested into our community, investing into our youth and into our children. We start that at the Head Start program. The city does have the Office of Early Learning. So we want to make sure that we have increased investments into the Office of Early Learning, and then also increased investments into our YFD centers with programs, tutoring, now technology. I mean, technology was always needed, but it's extremely needed now to make sure students have the technology they need to learn. And also just basic tutoring services, because right now, with the way kids have been in and out of school and this inconsistency, they're going to need the tutoring services and education services so that they can move up to the next grade level. So that's the way the city can support it, by increased investment into tutoring services, increased investment into our early learning, and helping students just progress forward.
Awesome. So what are some distinguishing factors you see between yourself and your opponent? What are your criticisms of him perhaps, or what would you do differently?
For me, I can't say for him, but for me, I am very community minded. I believe that everything we do should be driven by community voice. Everything we do should have communities backing. Of course, I'm not naive to think that we're going to have 100% participation or we're going to have 100% agreement. But we can come to terms with is that, for instance, an example would be Eastlake. Eastlake would like to see more economic development in their area, a lot more, they would like to see cleaner streets in their area. That is something that I would drive, and that comes from the voice of the people, not the voice of a select few. So that is where I believe I differ a lot, in that I am all about community input. I understand that, the city is a business. The mayor is the CEO. I would say the council are like the VPs, if you did it in a organizational chart. And so our job is to make sure that we're bringing forth those things that are representative of our communities, and that is reflected in the budget. So I want to make sure that, that is my personal promise to District 7, is that every decision that is made is community focused. And I will stay in constant contact with my neighborhood associations, with community leaders, to make sure that that is being done, because that's what I'm already doing. So taking this job, being your next city councilwoman for District 7, I'm already doing it. It's just going to be a little bit more expanded.
Yeah, we can go back around to Emily if you have another question. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. My second question is, obviously a lot of the development of the city of Chattanooga has been focused in the downtown area. If you were elected to council, how would you like to see that development expanded, and how would you want to play a part in that?
Oh, Emily, that is a great question. I love it. That goes back to my neighborhood development. My neighborhood equity, economic development. I was just mentioning earlier, East Lake. East Lake, one of the primary corridors from Tennessee to Chattanooga runs through Rossville Boulevard. It goes straight. You can go from, you can get out right the interstate, go straight through, and then you're in North Georgia from Rossville Boulevard in minutes. And so that should be a strong corridor. So for development, anytime development comes up, when somebody wants to move here, somebody wants to build a business here, I want them to look at District 7 first. I want them to look at Rossville Boulevard. I want them to look at Alton Park. I want them to understand that this is a great community. And so that's what I would like to see. That's how I would approach it, from getting with the city to see what we can do to beautify the area, to make it more attractive to investors, to not just look down on the riverfront, but to also look at other areas that could be strong economic basis for the city, especially this south part of the city. So I'm definitely, that is one of the top of my list things to start doing, and saying, how can we develop a package for District 7 that says, this is what we have. We have great neighborhoods, we have great people, and we want you to bring your business here.
All right. So how would you ensure that those resources to bring equity to District 7 make it there?
It's all about staying on top of it. It's all about making sure that once I hear from the community voice, then contacting through the resources with the city, depending on what department it comes through, contacting the city or working with city departments to make sure that those things are getting done, and staying on top of it. I believe in follow through, strong communication, and that's how those resources get there. Advocating for our district, and also having that District 7 council that can advocate, with me. I can, when it's presented to a business that wants to move here, say, hey, we have strong community leadership. We want your business here. So to be able to have the District 7 council, access to the city departments, to be able to talk up our community. So that's how we get those resources out, is to get it from the community, work with city departments to get it done. And honestly, in the past couple of years, as I've contacted the city departments for various things with the Alton Park Neighborhood Association, I've rarely ever had an issue with getting something done.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just to give you a moment to kind of talk about what you're passionate about, where is there currently a lack of funding within the city that you think needs to be addressed? And how could newly allocated funds help specific issues in our community?
Okay, so lack of funding, and then where could those funds be kind of reallocated? Lack of funding is in our youth programs, our YFDs, also in our YFDs, as well as our homeless division. We need to put more money into people. We have to begin to look at people over profits, because our children, as we see what's going on right now with the school system, even though the city is not into the school business, we should always be in the school business, because these are our future Chattanoogans. These are the Chattanoogans that's going to carry on the torch to continue to keep this a thriving city. So there needs to be more investment there. There also needs to be more investment into homeless services. I don't know, a few years ago, Mayor Burke moved a lot of the homeless off of a site that they were on near the Chattanooga Community Kitchen. And ever since then, that the homeless community has just been in disarray. They're all over the city. And I was listening to City Council call last night, and a gentleman called in, and I believe he was maybe in Hickson or somewhere out in that area. And he was asking for trash bins, and just trash bins at the homeless camp, And I listened to that, and I thought that is a good idea, for a short-term solution, because when you ride past homeless camps, you see a lot of trash, you see a lot of debris, and a lot of that comes from them taking it, they burning things because it's cold outside. So they're burning items. So being able to mitigate that, putting more funding into that to keep our city clean, but to also look at the humanity of the people and say, how can we better serve them? So I think money can be reallocated to those services as well. To the homeless community and to the youth, because right now those are our most pressing issues.
So we only have about 30 seconds probably left, but I don't know,
Okay.
Brianna, if you have a rapid fire question or Ms. Dotley, if you want to just give us your last minute sales pitch.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm Raquetta Dotley. Vote me, vote Raquetta. March 2nd is election day. Early voting is February the 10th through the 25th. To learn more about me, you can visit raquettadotley.com. I'm also Vote Raquetta on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, together we will build stronger communities.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.